When your horse lifts their head and walks toward you across the paddock, do you know what's actually happening in their brain in that moment? You probably think they know it's you, their person. Maybe they're hoping for a treat, or it's close to feeding time and you're part of that routine. Every single time a horse chooses to walk toward a human, they're running a recognition process most people never think about. What happens between the moment they see you and the moment they take that first step toward you tells you everything about how they've come to know you. Finally, you'll see that walk differently, and you'll understand one thing your horse does with their eyes as they approach that reveals exactly which category you're in. Let's start with how they know it's you at all. How they know it's you across the field. Here is something that should stop you the next time your horse recognizes you from a distance. In 2020, a research team led by Leah Lansad at the French National Research Institute for Agriculture published a study in Scientific Reports. They showed horses photographs of their primary caretaker, people they had not seen in 6 months, alongside photographs of strangers. The horses looked longer at their caretaker's photo, and their whole posture leaned toward it. 6 months, a still photograph, and they recognized them. The way a horse processes a familiar face is holistic, meaning they read the whole face as a unit, rather than scanning feature by feature. The same way you recognize a friend across a parking lot before you've consciously registered their eyes. The horse carries a picture of you that holds together even when time passes and context changes. So when you appear at the far end of the paddock and your horse lifts their head and orients toward you, that's the picture they carry of you, holding up against the real thing. Recognition, not reflex. There is something they do in the seconds before they decide to walk toward you that we will come back to at the end. It involves which eye they use, and it tells you more than the approach itself. If this is landing differently than you expected, a like is the best way to tell us to keep making these. And if you want more of this, subscribing is what keeps us going. We're just getting started. Every comment is welcome, and we would love to discuss your experiences with you. What your face has left behind. Recognizing you and remembering you are two different things for a horse. Recognition tells them who you are. Memory tells them what to feel about it. In 2018, researchers Proops, Grounds, Smith, and McComb at the University of Sussex published a study in Current Biology that changed how scientists talk about horse memory. They showed horses photographs of a person displaying an angry expression. Hours later, with no photo present, that same person walked toward the horse in a neutral expression. The horses responded with significantly more wariness than they showed toward strangers. They had held on to the feeling that face carried. What that means for you. Your horse's approach at the gate carries everything your face has brought them, session after session, arrival after arrival. Your expression stayed with them. The ones that hang back and watch are carrying something different. That's all. The choice happening in that walk. Watch a horse the moment something new shows up in their world, a person they don't know, something unfamiliar sitting in the corner of the paddock. There's a pause before anything happens, and what fills that pause has a name in equine research, the approach avoidance test. A horse that walks towards something unfamiliar on their own, with no lead pulling them there, is doing something training never taught them. For an animal built to run first and ask questions never, choosing to move closer means the pull toward you has outweighed the risk of you. There's more behind the horse walking to your gate than the fact that gates usually mean something happens. Routine-driven behavior looks different. It is usually faster, more mechanical, ears angled toward the gate rather than toward you. The horse that slows as it gets closer, that meets your eyes, that reaches its nose out before anything else, that horse is making a social approach. Once you know what to look for, those two walks are unmistakable. What their body is saying before they arrive. Pay attention to what the horse does in the last 20 feet. Both ears soft and mobile, angled toward you, means you have their full attention in a relaxed way. One ear toward you and one flicking back says part of their attention is still out there, even while they're with you. Head height matters too. A horse approaching with their head carried naturally or slightly low is calm, settled, nothing on high alert. High-headed, neck tense, moving fast toward you often means something behind them is more relevant than you are. And then there is the muzzle. A horse that reaches toward your hand or your face before you've touched them is the one making the first move. In equine social behavior, nose-to-nose contact is a greeting ritual that involves breath exchange. When a horse does this with you, they are treating you as someone worth greeting in their own language. Two horses who trust each other trade breath like this every morning, and when yours offers it to you, you've been let into that circle. What it means when they stop coming. The gait a horse once walked to, but now only watches from a distance, is telling you something. Something changed, possibly something in the environment, but the honest question is, what changed in you when you arrive? Research on heart rate coupling between horses and handlers has shown that a horse reads what's happening in your body before you're even through the gate. Your tension, the way your breath is moving when you walk through that gate, reaches the horse before your hand does. A horse that used to come and now watches may be telling you that the version of you showing up lately is harder to read. They are always taking you back in, reading you fresh each time, which means it always goes both ways. What the eye tells you. Here is what we said we'd come back to. Research published in 2016 by Smith, Proops, Grounds, Wathen, and McComb at the University of Sussex found that horses process threatening stimuli primarily through their left eye. The left eye feeds the right hemisphere, the side of the brain that lights up around danger and things that feel wrong. When horses encountered something that made them wary, they turned their left eye toward it. When your horse approaches you leading with their right eye, they're taking you in through their left hemisphere instead, the side that lights up for the faces they trust and the company they choose. Watch which eye leads as they walk toward you. A horse that consistently approaches you right eye first has put you where their brain keeps what it trusts. For an animal whose survival has always depended on telling the difference between safe and dangerous, that is the clearest answer they have. So next time, look at them the way they've been looking at you all along. Because the moment you start paying attention, your horse will already know. You understood and communicated in an understandable way, and your bond will become stronger.